Hey, angels. It is MJ over at Angela Maternity Services. And today I am back with another live, just as I promised. This is 5 reasons women share their pregnancy horror stories when you're pregnant and it's not what you think. Okay, let's get into it. So, the first reason, the top reason why women share pregnancy horror stories when you're not pregnant is they are tone deaf. There are some people who do not take the time to think about the sensitivity of the subject and the circumstances surrounding the conversations that they're having. They are not thinking, I could be telling this person something that might scare them, or I could be telling this person something that may cause them to, maybe not even want to have a baby again. I could be causing this person's just a number of different negative emotions. There is a baby, there's a human life growing inside of this mama. And this is not something that I want to bring negativity into. So they're tone deaf. They're just not thinking about those things and they're just wanting to get off whatever it is that they have to say. They want to tell you their story. And in the moment, that's more important than whatever else you're going through right at the moment, whatever else you have going on, which at that time is being pregnant, right, being with child, which I think is a very sacred and needs to be protected sort of event. Okay. Also, a part of that is the other side of that. That's a more positive side, I think, where there's a lot of innocence or maybe naiveness coming through there, or the person is, again, just, we've all done it. We've all made these statements. I know I have. More to the person, oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't thinking. I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have brought that up. And you apologize and it's sincere and no harm, no foul. But at the other side of that is they just don't like you. This is something that took me a long time to accept because, right? And these are people that you think love you, care for you, and definitely like you, right? But sometimes people are cloaking comments like this and they are hiding emotions that they don't necessarily want to just come straight out and just say, you know what, I just don't like you. They're hiding that under like these sort of comments. And ladies, you know what I'm talking about if you've ever experienced this, where it took something like you getting pregnant for you to figure out this particular person just didn't care for you very much. And that's a harder one for us to accept than just somebody just saying something that they weren't thinking about. It's possible to love someone, but not really like to feel less alone. And they think it will happen by oversharing at an inappropriate time. So you have the situation, this person's pregnant, they go through this very traumatic experience. Now you're pregnant. And now they want to feel less alone in that experience. So what do? They share it with you. Never mind that this is probably not the most appropriate time to tell this sort of story. They do it because they want to feel less alone. That one, again, is sort of on the fence of maybe there's some innocence there. It's not really malicious. They just don't want to feel like they're the only person that's ever gone through this. And yeah, so they're sharing it with you. It's oversharing, it's inappropriate sharing, but it's sharing nonetheless. Up the and so to school, so should you. If she had to be without, support at her birth, so should you. These type of people, you've run into them. We've all experienced people who, whatever negative experience they've had in their life, sometimes every negative experience, it seems like, that they've had in their life, they need you to experience it too. They don't want to spare you the trauma and the drama and the heartache. They feel like it's, Lay's potato chips. You can't just have one and pass them around and share them with everybody. This person, you kind of feel a little bit bad for, right? Because it makes you really wonder how bad their experience was that they really want somebody else to go through it as well. And yeah, I think that there is a level of just completely being uncaring when we're in that mindset. Knows how I don't want someone to go through a negative experience that I've experienced. I want their experience to be better because I know what it feels like to have to endure something like that. Unfortunately, not everyone thinks that way. So the I had a bad experience and so should you mentality is one of the reasons why sometimes women share inappropriate horror stories, what we call horror stories with us, and be comparative and competitive to the point of pettiness. Yes, pettiness. Okay. Again, you know those people in your life that they may not care for you very much. And now you're pregnant, right? This is that one chance that they get to one up you. You've always been, this perfect girl in their mind. You've always had your makeup done. Maybe you have a voluptuous figure and, maybe you have that perfect family, 2 kids already, a white picket fence, you got the husband, and they're feeling like they've never, ever, ever been able to put you in your place. And now you're pregnant. And guess what? Now I can put you in your place, especially if you're a first time mom. This is a bit psychological. I can play with you a little bit mentally by saying, oh my goodness, this happened to me. Oh my goodness, that baby's gonna rip you from the rooter to the tutor. Let me infuse this fear in you and make you as afraid as I got some control now. So there is a psychological thing going on with that comparative and competitive. I have this opportunity to one up you, to put you in your place, and by God, I'm going to take it. That one's particularly evil. It is one. It's not one of my favorites. But yes, sometimes we as women cannot be as nice to each other as we should. This is reason number 5. This one is a huge pet peeve for me personally. And that is trauma bonding is the new therapy. Again, trauma is real and it is a real thing, but I do believe that these sort of things need to be handled appropriately in the presence or in the environment of the appropriate professionals. I think we should keep in mind when we're talking to someone who is pregnant or has just had a baby, this is a very sensitive time. These are very sensitive subjects and they should be handled with care. And a lot of times that's not what happens, right? Somebody has a traumatic birth and they just start spilling it out onto you. They're spilling it out onto you. They're bleeding all over you. They're not thinking about you. We all have had traumatic experiences in our lives. It is our responsibility to take care of that. It is inappropriate for us to be in the presence of someone who is about to go through an experience and to hand that off to them. That is irresponsible. So there's an appropriate place to take care of our trauma, and mother does not deserve to go into the birthing suite full of fear. And I personally would just stop them and say, whoa, 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 hold that thought. I'm having a baby. I'm pregnant. I don't want to go into my baby's birth. This is one of the most joyous times of my life, carrying someone else's trauma. I want my birth experience to be my experience. So if you don't mind, please, I would ask that you not share any horror stories, any negative experiences, any traumatic events with me at this time. Okay. I personally would say I believe pregnancy is a very spiritual event. And I do believe that my baby can take on that energy. And I do not want that passed on. I don't want to be my cortisol levels to be spiked. I don't want to be afraid because all of that can affect the baby. So if you would please respect that I am with child at this time, I just really do not want to hear any traumatic stories. I don't. I want to go into my birth with a clear mind and a clear heart, a clear conscience, fearless, and courageous. And that's what I'm going for. If you don't mind, I maybe perhaps we could have this conversation after my baby is born at a later time. But right now, this is a very sacred time for me, and I do want to protect my womb space. I want to protect this living being that is inside of me. Please, out of respect, hold those thoughts, hold those comments until some other time. Not being rude, but just letting them know, as a mother, As a mama to be, one of my jobs is to protect my child. And I'm starting right now. I'm starting in my pregnancy saying, no, 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 no. We're not doing that. So it's not about controlling what someone else is saying. You can't control them. They even insist, no, 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 I have to tell you this. You got to know. Oh my goodness, girl. And they go on. You can just remove yourself. You don't even have to tell them you're leaving. You can walk off because you've already stated your boundary, which was, I don't want to hear this. They continue to talk. Feel free to just walk away. This is what I would personally do because, again, I think this is very important. And I think that, there's really no way in that moment for you to really address what happened with them. And it may just not be appropriate. And you don't want to be filled with fear. I see so many women in my practice, they come to me and they come to me full of fear. They're full of fear. Why? Because they've heard all these horror stories. And these are not their stories. These are not their experiences. Birth, I've said it 100 times, is different for every woman. And even with the same woman, different births, as she has children, they can all be experienced differently. Okay. So with that in mind, it's good for a woman who's pregnant to keep a positive outlook. It's very healthy for her to be positive about what's happening. And these conversations can happen, but when someone is pregnant, that may not be the most appropriate time for it. So anyway, I am MJ. I'm a birth and postpartum doula. I've found this video to be wonderful talk. I hope you have as well. If you found value in this video and you want to go into your pregnancy, your birth, or your postpartum period, courageous and celebratory, my email is in the description box below. I'd love to meet you. I'm offering you a free consultation. So have you ever felt like someone was dumping their trauma onto you, their horror stories onto you, or using your pregnancy as a way to one-up you? Leave a comment below about your experience. We want to hear about it. Please like, subscribe, and click the notifications bell to know when I post videos. I'm going live every single day except Saturday until further notice. If you don't know what to expect from my doula services, expect an angel. See you guys on the next video. Bye.